Have you ever looked up at the night sky at that vast, velvet blackness dotted with countless points of light, and wondered if we are forever bound to this one tiny world? We often assume that the stars will always be there, waiting for us. We think of space exploration as an inevitable destiny, a story that will unfold whenever we get around to writing it. But what if that assumption is wrong? What if the window of opportunity for humanity to become a multi-planetary species is not a vast open door but a narrow, fleeting gap in time? What if this moment, right now in the grand cosmic calendar, is our only real chance to reach for the stars? If we miss it, that window might just close forever. This isn't a thought meant to inspire fear but one to awaken a sense of perspective and urgency. Our civilization, for the first time in the 4 billion-year history of life on Earth, possesses a unique combination of ingredients. We have the scientific knowledge to understand the laws of physics that govern the cosmos. We have the engineering prowess to build machines that can escape our planet's gravity. And, crucially, we have the accumulated resources from a relatively stable and resource-rich Earth to fund these monumental undertakings. This confluence of knowledge, capability, and resources is a historical anomaly, a lucky alignment of circumstances that may not last and might never be repeated. The universe is patient, but the life of a civilization is not. The story of life on Earth is one of constant change and occasional catastrophe. We know that cosmic impacts have reset the evolutionary clock before. Why should we even bother with the immense challenge of space? We have so many problems right here on Earth. Poverty, disease, conflict, a changing climate. These are urgent and demand our attention. This is a fair and important point. But to see space exploration as a distraction from Earth's problems is to miss the bigger picture. It is like telling a coastal village that is constantly threatened by rising tides and devastating storms that they should not bother building boats or looking for higher ground because they need to focus on patching the roofs of their huts. The ultimate solution isn't just to fix the immediate problem, but to ensure long-term survival. The cosmos is the ultimate high ground for humanity. Expanding into space is the single greatest life insurance policy we could ever take out for our species. We live in a cosmic shooting gallery. An asteroid or comet of sufficient size, like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, will inevitably cross our path again. It is not a matter of if, but when. A single global catastrophe could end our story, whether from space or of our own making, like a runaway pandemic or a nuclear winter, spreading out to other worlds, Mars, the moons of Jupiter. It is the only way to guarantee that our art... Let's look back for a moment. Our first steps into the cosmos were tentative, but they were giant leaps for our perspective. When the Apollo 8 astronauts orbited the moon in 1968 and saw our planet rise over the lunar horizon, they captured an image that changed everything. The Earthrise photograph showed our world for what it is, a small, fragile, and breathtakingly beautiful oasis of life suspended in the immense empty blackness of space. For the first time, we saw our home not as a collection of competing nations on a limitless plane, but as a single, shared, and finite sphere. This cosmic perspective was a gift from space exploration, a mirror held up to ourselves that sparked the modern environmental movement and a new awareness of our global interconnectedness. The Apollo program itself was a testament to what humanity can achieve when it is united by a bold and audacious goal. In less than a decade, we went from launching our first astronaut into a brief suborbital flight to landing human beings on another celestial body. This required an unprecedented mobilization of resources, ingenuity, and sheer willpower. People often point to the cost, but they forget the return on that investment. It wasn't just about Tang and Teflon, it was about inspiring a generation of scientists, engineers, and dreamers. Despite our past successes, our journey to the stars is facing powerful headwinds. The path forward is not as clear as it once seemed during the fervor of the Cold War space race. One of the most significant anchors weighing us down is, quite simply, money. Space exploration is expensive. Building and launching a single heavy-lift rocket costs hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. Developing a new human-rated spacecraft, testing it, planning a mission to Mars is a multi-decade, trillion-dollar endeavor. In a world with pressing and immediate needs, healthcare, infrastructure, education, it can be difficult for governments and the public to justify such colossal expenditures. The political will to fund such long-term projects can waver with every election cycle. Beyond the purely financial costs, we face a crisis of focus. the world is more interconnected than ever but also fragmented by geopolitical tensions and competing national interests. The Apollo era was fueled by a singular rivalry between two superpowers. Today the landscape is more complex. International cooperation like the ISS offers a model, but rising nationalism and mistrust could derail collaboration needed for Mars or beyond. We are also, rightly, more focused on the health of our own planet than ever before. The most profound anchor may be the state of our home planet itself. Climate change is no longer a distant threat, it is a present-day reality. Imagine a future where we didn't seize this moment. We decided it was too expensive, too difficult, or simply not a priority. We focused inward, trying to solve our terrestrial problems, but the challenges grew faster than our solutions. A century from now, our descendants look up at the moon and the red glimmer of Mars. But the dream of visiting them has faded into myth. A story from a bygone golden age. The technological and industrial base we enjoy is not a given. It is built on a complex global supply chain, readily available energy, a wealth of easily accessible raw materials. What happens when those things are no longer available in the same way? Consider the resources required for high technology. Our computers, our solar panels, our rocket engines, they depend on rare earth elements and other specific metals. For now we can mine these materials, but what happens after decades of depletion, or if climate change and political instability disrupt the global trade networks that move them? A future civilization struggling with resource scarcity might find it impossible to manufacture complex microchips and the specialized alloys needed for space travel. What are the ultimate consequences if we wait too long? What is the price of our hesitation? In the short term, it means a continued vulnerability to existential risks. We remain a single-planet species, a basket with all of our eggs in it. Every day we delay establishing a self-sustaining outpost elsewhere is another day we are gambling with the entire future of humanity. An asteroid doesn't care about our political calendar or our economic forecasts. A supervolcano will not wait for us to feel ready. Procrastination, in this cosmic context, is a bet against a stacked deck. The universe has thrown extinction-level events at Earth before, and it will do so again. To not prepare for that eventuality is an act of profound irresponsibility to all who will come after us. But the consequences are deeper, more philosophical. If we fail to become a spacefaring species, we risk succumbing to a kind of civilizational despair. The frontier has always been a source of hope, a driver of progress, a safety valve for human society. The knowledge that there is something more out there, a new world to explore, a grander destiny to pursue, it fuels our dreams and our ambitions. What happens to the human spirit if we collectively decide that this planet is all there is and all there ever will be? So, let's flip the coin. Let's imagine we choose to go. What are the rewards for acting now? The benefits for science would be staggering. Imagine observatories on the far side of the moon, shielded from Earth's radio noise, peering into the universe's infancy. Imagine geologists drilling deep into Mars's ice caps, uncovering billions of years of history, maybe fossils. Imagine robotic probes in Europa's subsurface ocean, robotic probes in Enceladus's ocean, searching for life in dark, warm waters. We could finally answer, are we alone? The economic and technological boom would dwarf the first space race. Establishing a permanent presence would catalyze revolutions across fields. Perfect, closed-loop life support systems, advanced recycling systems, technology transformative for Earth's sustainability, new energy forms, safer, smaller nuclear reactors, hyper-efficient solar arrays, powering our cities back home. Asteroid mining becomes reality, supplying precious metals and raw materials, relieving strain on Earth's resources, opening an economy of astronomical proportions, and on Earth. When we think about monumental projects, we often think in terms of our own lifetimes, but building a spacefaring civilization is not like building a bridge or a skyscraper. It is more like planting a forest. The generation that plants the saplings may not live to see the towering trees, but they do it anyway. They do it for their children and for their children's children. Embarking on the journey to space is a profound act of generational responsibility. It is a promise we make to the future. We believe our descendants deserve a chance to exist, to thrive, to continue the great human adventure. We are the architects of a cathedral whose spires we may never see. Think of the legacy we would leave. Future generations living on a terraformed Mars, living in orbital habitats around Jupiter, living on Earth itself, would look back at this time as the heroic age. They would see us as the generation that made the crucial choice, the one that stood at the precipice and decided to leap.